Hello guys and gals, and welcome to another episode of Skills and Abilities. We are going over the Barbarian now, and the Barbarian has a lot of fun skills. Three of them kind of need to be combined together into one video. Seems like I'm doing that a lot for the Barbarian, but these are the skills Shout, Battle Orders, and Battle Command. These are very specific abilities that are almost always used in tandem, and they also exist on the CTA rune word. The Battle Orders and the Battle Command, but not Shout. These are absolutely excellent for making your character more survivable, and if you max them out, they have a pretty good duration. It will last you for quite some time, and plus they're very fun to use. Add in a little bit of faster cast, and before you know it, you got a beat going. But other than the fact that they sound really cool, they also have other effects for the Barbarian, obviously. The Shout ability, which is the first one that you will find in this tree, increases your defense. The defense that it increases, however, is your base defense, not your defense written in the panel. So it's kind of hard to figure out exactly how much your defense is being increased, because the Barbarian has other skills like Iron Skin, which increases his defense passively. However, when you use Shout, it does not take that into account. It is actually increasing your base defense number before Shout, or rather before Iron Skin actually increases your defense. So the amount that it gives you doesn't really seem like the correct amount, but it is. Especially when you consider the fact that, like, for instance, if I save and exit real quick so that I can remove the effect, you'll take a look and you'll see that my current defense on my character is 4,593. Now, when I cast Shout, Shout has a bonus of 360%. So if we were to run that on a calculator, just for lulz, it would be 4,593 plus 350%, which is going to give us a grand total of 20,668. However, when we go out and we actually use the ability, you'll notice that it only goes to 13,780. So it's not giving us as much defense as we would otherwise think. On top of this, because of the Battle Command ability, which I feel like we need to go over next, is it gives more defense than what's actually stated. So Battle Command does only one thing. It gives you an extra plus to skill. It's literally like putting on another like plus to skill amulet or something. It gives you +1 to all skills, including Battle Orders and Shout, which means that whenever you're doing this Battle Orders, Battle Command, and Shout combination, you always want to do it twice. Okay? And the reason why you're doing it twice is because when you cast your Battle Orders, or sorry, your Battle Command, it increases the level of everything else. So then you have to recast everything again to get the enhanced effect of all three abilities. And you notice now my defense is 14,291 versus what it was before, which is not as high. And this is also because Battle Command is also increasing my Iron Skin, which is giving me a little bit more resistances to physical and a little bit more resistances to our elemental damage, right? So we've got +1 to everything, which is certainly very nice. Now, the main problem with Battle Command, Battle Orders, and Shout is that it doesn't last very long unless you pump a lot of points into it. So, for instance, if I go ahead and reset my character real quick, and I just throw 1 point into each one, you'll notice that it only lasts for about 80 seconds, which is pretty pathetic. That's what, a minute and a half, a little bit less than a minute and a half. So it's pretty terrible in terms of duration. And as you level them up, the duration increases depending on the skill. So Battle Command doesn't actually have any increase in what it does. Like, it doesn't give you more plus the skills. So Battle Command tends to be one of the last ones that you're going to level up. Battle Orders gives you life, mana and stamina, which is absolutely excellent, and it tends to be one of the first ones that you level up. Now, when you level up each one of these, the synergies for the others will automatically increase the duration of everything. So as you can see, I have 270-second battle orders, and I didn't put any additional points into battle command, but now I have 175-second battle command. The second one that you're probably going to want to level up is Shout, because the defense increase is absolutely insane, and it is absolutely amazing to have that higher defense ability, which is also, in turn, going to increase the battle command duration to 280 seconds. And then, after you're finished, you can throw some points into your battle command to get that up higher if you've got the extra points. But 20, 40, 60 is pretty expensive. And it's not too long before you start to run out of skill points. This particular character is cheated, by the way. He has like as many skill points as I want to put in his abilities. And quite honestly, when it comes to these three skills, they are absolutely amazing. Although there are some things that we need to cover about the battle orders command specifically. So let me go ahead and throw some points into strength real quick, and we're going to cover these together. Alright, so battle orders increases your life, and it also increases your mana. But there are some things that it doesn't do. First off, it will not increase your life from vitality based on character level effects. For some reason or another, it doesn't work well with based on character level bonuses. And to demonstrate this, I'm going to bring up the calculator and I'm going to show you specifically that it doesn't work with some of these effects. Because I want you to be able to see that it doesn't work so that as you're building your characters, you can get a better idea of what it is that you're looking for. Bring old calculator up here. Let me try and, I'm going to try and resize this in the center between the two so that you guys can see the life and the mana at the same time. Alright, so right now we have 2,963 life, right? So if we take our armor and we put it on, we have 49 vitality, and 49 vitality is 49 times 4, which is 196 life on a barbarian, because they get 4 life per point of vitality. So if we take our life right now, which is 3,159, and we subtract the life without the armor on, which is 2,963, we end up with 196. As you can see, the 196 life that comes from the Arcane's Valor is completely unaffected by the Battle Orders command. However, take for instance this little charmy right here, this 20 life all resistance 5 charm. If we take our life beforehand, which is 3,159, and we throw our little charmy on the ground here, you'll notice we go down to 3,116. So subtract 3,116, and you will notice that we are getting 43 life from the charm, but only 196 from the armor. So we do get the Battle Orders bonus applied to the charm, but not to the based on character level Arcane's Valor. And to prove to you that it's not just the vitality, it also does the same thing for the Bulkathos Wedding Band. So Bulkathos Wedding Band gives 49 life, and when you take it off, you only lose that equivalent amount of life. You can clearly see that I go from 3,159 to 3,110, which is exactly 49 life. So things like Bulkathos and Arcane's Valor are relatively unaffected by battle orders. Now, this also applies to mana. So mana based on character level is also relatively unaffected by battle orders. As you can see here from the Wizard Spike, we have 198 mana with an increased maximum mana of 15%. So this would probably give us around 200 some odd mana, depending on our maximum mana that we currently have. Now, if we take off the item, you'll see we only go down to 415, which is about 200. So we take our 641 and we subtract our 415, and we only have 226, which is about the right amount of mana, because we're getting 198 from the dagger, And then we're getting 15% increase to maximum mana from the dagger as well. So that's about 226, which is exactly how much we get when we put it on. And we don't get any increase from the Battle Orders command when it comes to this particular based on level increase. It seems to be very specifically anything that is based on character level is unaffected by Battle Orders, which is kind of sad because a lot of these based on character level items are just so good. Like Wizard Spike's 198 mana is kind of insane. The freaking 49 based on character level Vitality of Arcane's Valor is freaking awesome, right? Fortitude also has the same effect. It has 198 life based on character level, and if we put Fortitude on, you'll notice we don't really gain that much life. So 3,161 life minus 2,963 equals 198. And guess how much life Fortitude gives us? 198. So we're not getting any additional increase from any of these based on character level items. If you want to hit a higher level of HP with a Barbarian, you want to be looking at flat vitality increases, flat HP increases, flat mana increases, not based on character level increases. These really don't do you any good as far as your Battle Orders goes. Now granted, Fortitude is an amazing piece of armor, and that 300% enhanced damage can come in extremely handy, so you might just have to bite the bullet and you know, wear it anyway. But I just wanted to let all you guys know, since you found this video, that these particular based on character level effects do not actually work with Battle Orders. And there's really not a lot more to go over with Shout, Battle Orders, and Battle Command. They're absolutely amazing items, amazing skills. They increase everybody's, you know, defensiveness, their life, their mana, and even their skills around you, including your own mercenary, which is actually pretty cool, and can be used to even do like a metal grid iron golem. The Barbarian is one of the few characters that can actually do the metal grid iron golem the best, just simply because they have the ability to beef up the golem's HP, beef up the golem's defense, and keep the golem in a much more survivable state than other characters can. The only other character that even comes close to being able to like increase the survivability of his golem is the Paladin. The Paladin can do things like give him salvation, cleansing if he gets poisoned, you know, things like that, remove his curses. But it's not anywhere near as good as being able to like massively bump up the Iron Golem's life and increase his defense by you know, leagues more than what it normally is. Let's see here. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I missed. When it comes to Shout, I believe the defense increase is also separate from other modifiers. Like, for instance, if you have the Fortitude armor on, and you proc the Chilling Armor when struck, if you're a Paladin and a Barbarian uses Shout on you, and you have your Holy Shield running, it is separate from those modifiers. So it doesn't actually work like in combination with them. They're all kind of just modifying the base number, and they add their defense. So like if I have like 2,000 and Shout gives me, you know, say like 360%, then it's 360% of 2,000, and that just adds to the total. And Holy Shield is also modifying the 2,000, and Chilling Armor is also modifying the 2,000, and so forth and so on. And you can get some pretty insane defense numbers. It just doesn't stack on top of each other, because that would just be absolutely insane. Like if you could just stack Shout, Iron Skin, you know, and like Chilling Armor on top of each other, you'd probably have like 40,000, 50,000 defense, and and it just nothing would be able to touch you. And speaking of which, you can pretty much see this written on the character panel. However, a word of warning: the character panel never takes into account level difference. All right, so if a really high level monster tries to hit me, there is a huge penalty involved in basically the my defense, because he's much higher level than I am. And even if it says that there's a 95% chance that this guy is going to miss you can't really take that at face value because someone like Uber Diablo, who is a level 110 monster, is far higher level than you, and so he gets extra hit chance because you're a lower level character. And the lower level you are, the more hit chance he gets, to the point of absurdity, and your defense is basically useless. And the same applies the other way around. So if you're a higher level monster and you're running out into a lower level zone, then you will also see that same benefit happen. So you will see the monsters have a really hard time hitting you, even though the numbers aren't quite right. So like right now, I currently have a 51% chance to be hit by invaders. If I were to go to a lower level zone like Nightmare, where the monsters are far lower level than I am, and then hop into, say, Worldstone, these monsters in here are nowhere near my level. And I'll just hit one of them real quick. And according to the panel, it's going to tell me what my current percent chance to be hit by them is, which is average chance a serpent will hit you is 24%. But the actual percent chance that he's going to hit me, because he's a lower level monster than me, is actually a lot lower than that. So he's probably got more like a 10% chance, or maybe even lower, depending on our distance. Trying to think here if there's anything else I missed. I don't think there is. These are pretty simple abilities. I think the only thing I want to end this with is show you guys the CTA. So if you guys have never seen a CTA, I'm going to show you that. And I'm going to go over CTA real quickly in terms of a Barbarian as well. So this is a call to arms. If you've never seen call to arms, it is a rune word that you can create. Call to arms is a rune word that adds battle command and battle orders as an O skill. Notice it does not add shout, so you don't get the benefit of having shout. Plus to skills does work with O skills, so you can make it higher, but the problem is it's only generic plus to skills. So let me give you a for instance here. All right, so here we have +3 Amazon skills, right? And we currently have level 14 battle orders and level 14 battle command. If we take off the Amazon torch, notice we are currently at, of course I just lost all my plus to skills from my other pieces of equipment here. More strength. There we go. So we are still at level 14. So despite taking off the torch, we do not gain any plus to skills on battle orders and battle command. This is because it has to be raw plus to skills, not generic plus to, or not specific plus to skills like plus Amazon. I have also tested this in the past with a Barbarian torch just for lulz. I put a Barbarian torch on the character to see if maybe it could increase the battle command and battle orders in that way. It does not. So the +3 Barbarian does not work on a non-Barbarian class. Also, Call to Arms does not work very well on a Barbarian itself. And I'm going to show you that here really quickly. So if we take this and we throw this in our shared stash and hop over to our Barbarian, there is some interesting things that go on with the interaction with O skills and the Barbarian itself. So the Barbarian is limited in the number of plus to skills that he can get from an item like this. So if we take this and we put this on the Barbarian, the item has +1 to all skills, and it has +6 to battle command and +6 to battle orders. But if we take a look at our battle orders, we have level 27, and when we put it on, we go to level 31, which is 28, 29, 30, 31. It's only 4. Right? It's only 4. So why is it only 4? And the answer is because O skills on the character that own them are always limited to +3. And to further complicate matters, not only is it limited to +3, it is limited to +3 in total over all items. So if you have 2 call to arms, for instance, you were to put 1 on your left hand and 1 on your right hand, you would only obtain 3 from the actual O skill. Not 6, with both the 6s being nerfed to 3, and definitely not 12, you only get 3. That's it. So the call to arms only works once on the character that it belongs to. You do also get the +1 to skills, though. So the +1 to skills on the item will affect the battle orders because it's a generic plus to skill. So we get a nice +4 instead of +7, which everybody else gets when they put call to arms on. Now, it's actually still one of the best in slot items, though, for a barbarian. Because it's +4, it's very difficult to get a +4 item. So what you normally do is you have one call to arms and then you have something else. Like, for instance, a +3 bow stick, or maybe a Hoto or something like that. And that allows you to get your battle orders a little bit higher. And in this regard, people do what's called pre-buffing. So pre-buffing is where you have items specifically to pre-buff your barbarian to get your battle orders and your battle command and your shout as high as you possibly can. So things like a +3 Warcries amulet sitting in your cube to put on specifically when you shout. A helmet specifically designed for Warcries. So usually what people will try to find is a +3 Warcries helmet with +3 to battle orders, +3 to battle command, +3 to shout, any of those combinations. Another good one is to find a white helmet that has +3 to any of the skills, and then put Delirium in it, which will give you +2 for a total of +5. The optimal helmet, though, of course, is the +3 Warcries blue helmet with also +3 to any of the specific skills, if not all of them, which is pretty rare. You can also utilize other small things like, for instance, Warcry charms, grand charms. A lot of barbarians will have some Warcry grand charms for pre-buffing. Depending on what kind of barbarian you are, that might be what you're actually running as Warcry charms. And faster cast does affect it, by the way. So if I go out here and cast my battle orders, battle command without faster cast, it's not really that fast. And if I throw on something like Wizard Spike, you can just see the speed difference, right? I mean, it's amazing. It's not necessarily important that this be a really fast ability, but when you're in the middle of combat and it goes down and all of a sudden your HP disappears, it's kind of nice to have it cast a little bit quickly. And there are certain items in the game that do have faster cast on them for no good reason. Like, for instance, Fortitude has faster cast on it. It has 25% faster cast, which will help out your casting a little bit. And this is one of the reasons why, when I was talking about the CTA combo of using Hoto has a nice amount of faster cast on it. And so not only does it have the +3 skills that you need to utilize your CTA properly, it just makes a good alternative choice for your other hand if you want to be bougie, because you also get the faster cast, which allows you to cast it faster. And you do have to cast the entire thing 3 times. So you do each skill once, and that gives you the maximum benefit. If you don't do the battle command ability twice, you don't get the maximum duration. And you definitely want to get the duration up, because obviously having it wear off in the middle of combat is not a good thing. I think that covers pretty much everything with this ability. The only thing I think I may have missed is like a generic, like, cheapo pre-buff item. So if you can't afford obviously a CTA and you can't afford a Hoto, one of the easier pre-buff items is to find blue throwing items, which I believe can be purchased from Larzik. I think it's Larzik that sells them, doesn't he? You just kind of shop Larzik and see if you can get the blue throwing items that have +3 Warcries on them.
Afternoon.
I could be wrong. Maybe it's not Larzik. I can't remember who actually sells them. Let's try Anya real quick. Let's see if Anya sells them. Mala? It's Mala? Well, it does look like Anya sells them too. But yeah, Mala might be the better choice. I think she sells more than Anya does. But what you can do is you go back and forth between the portal here. And you can shop Anya over and over again, and you can look for the throwing items that might have the plus to skills that you're looking for. You just gotta keep going until you find them, and it doesn't take forever. But you also might want to take a look at the stat requirements, though, not just the effects, because some of these do have some pretty insane stat requirements as far as like dexterity and whatnot. So making sure that you find the right one is definitely going to be useful, especially if you don't have very high dexterity. Like maybe you're a cry barbarian, maybe you're a specifically like a Warcry barbarian. You might not necessarily want to have any dex, so looking for the lower dex ones is going to be nice. Mala does have a decent amount too, so definitely a good choice. And you just kind of keep going through here and looking over and over again until you find the right ones. You have to leave town for the vendor to refresh, so you basically have to keep doing this over and over again until she has the ones that you want, basically. You can also find them, by the way, so if you pick up all the blue throwing items as you go along, you might find some +3 Warcry sticks. But it's going to take a little while. You may also come across some people that have them for you. You know, like, hey, I found some +3 Warcry javelins, earlier. Do you want them? And then you just, you're like, yeah, I'll take them for pre-buff. Throw them on your alternate hand, use them for pre-buff, and forget about it until you end up with maybe something better like a Hoto on your other hand, so you can use that. Yeah, I believe it's echoing. Echoing, I think, is the +3. Rio is saying Act 4 Hell is better. Let's check Act 4 Hell.
Hail to you, champion.
Well, not him. What do you need? Yeah, Halbu's got a pretty decent number there. Of course, we're not going to be able to find one on stream. Another note is that this does not work if other people are in town. So a lot of people don't know this about the refreshing of the vendors, is that if anybody is in town, doesn't matter, anybody, if anybody's in town, when you run out and run back in, it will not refresh. It has to be everyone leaves town, which is why shopping is best done in a single-player game by yourself, because otherwise there's no way that you can get them to respawn. And this is going to be boring. I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to be pretty boring. But getting yourself those +3 Warcry sticks is definitely going to be helpful, because it's going to give you +3, which is 6, and it's going to give you a lot more HP, it's going to give you a lot more shout defense, and it's going to give you a lot more duration on the abilities, so that you don't have to worry about them running out all the time, especially not running out in the middle of combat, which is certainly bad. Now, granted, you can refresh them all the time, but you don't want to be refreshing them so often that you're not doing anything else. So getting a decent duration on them is certainly very, very useful. And still no bow sticks. +5 bow sticks. Takes a while to find +5s. I mean, you'll be able to find +3s before you'll find +5s. That's going to take you even longer. Anyway, as always, I do appreciate you guys and gals watching my videos. So this one's gone on long enough already. It's about 30 minutes for this video. But it was 3 skills. It was 3 skills mixed into one video. So at the very least, it was worth it, right? As always, thanks for watching, and keep watching.